Sam, I've got an idea for a really, really cheap news intro that people just love anyway. Look.
What?
YouTube, isn't it? There you go.
Hey,
Look at the
cat tax.
look at him. You know when Andrew met him, he tried to jump on him.
That doesn't
He's
surprise
awful,
me.
isn't he? Oh, I love you, Mr. Happy.
I saw that Andrew had, by the way, it must have been him. He was the last one in yesterday. When I got in this morning, there was just sausage meat just rubbed all over the keypad.
That's so. Oh, he's a vegan, is he?
Yeah.
Is he balls?
I'm not buying it.
No, let's take a look at the headlines. We have reports that major pushes and a potential brand switch is set for Monday Night Raw. New WWE 2K22 footage has emerged, and a huge match is said to be planned for WrestleMania 39. We'll get there in a bit. So we are kicking things off with a very interesting tweet from the ever-reliable WrestleVotes. They say there has been backstage chatter recently that the Raw roster needs some fresh faces. Two ideas I've heard talked about are Damian Priest getting a big opportunity and Aleister Black being moved over. Orton and AJ, having tag team roles, have left the top a bit weak. I certainly agree there. I mean, they're certainly doing the work as well with Damian Priest. I know he already feels like a pretty big deal to me. I know he's got the Lumberjack match on Sunday night. That's all good and everything. But I expect that push to happen anyway. They're just sort of getting started.
Yeah, they're kind of just
as well.
Loading it all up, aren't they?
But the Aleister Black and potential switch from SmackDown, because he's obviously having his vignettes aired on SmackDown at the moment. His return will surely be happening sooner rather than later. But maybe it looks like they're potentially going to swap him over and put him on Raw. If that ends up in like a main event run for him, not even necessarily a title run for him, if that just... I don't want to just see him wrestling like Humberto Carrillo or something, just random thrown together matches.
Isn't it?
All right. I want to see him do something proper, and if that's more likely to happen on Raw, then I can get behind it. But the fact that they aired a vignette last night on SmackDown suggests that maybe that
they can always just throw the other vignette across and have Michael Cole explain, or do a quick recap vignette before the third one airs and make a big deal that it's airing on Raw. Yeah. But at the same time, he's not really been around in so long that the vignettes are on SmackDown, but SmackDown's got Roman. It's got like a huge storyline thread running through it already. You can move Aleister Black over to Raw. You give him that freedom and that space to just run roughshod over that entire brand, if that's where they're going with it, with the whole dragon thing. To me, it's a bit of a no-brainer. It's a bit annoying because, as I said, we're going to have to do all that recap for here's chapter 1 and 2 and 3 of the dragon. But I think it might be better for him.
I think it probably would be better for him. Even though Raw is creatively the weaker show, Aleister Black could certainly inject some life into that. And he's going to be playing second fiddle to Roman because everybody plays second fiddle to Roman.
And eventually he would have to come up against Roman and he would have to lose. And I
think he would lose. I don't think they would take it. It wouldn't be Aleister Black conquering Roman, would it?
No. The Roman situation is resolved by The Rock, isn't it? That's it. Eventually.
It's going to be a bit of a wait. Speaking of a bit of a wait, a huge match is said to be in the works for WrestleMania 39. This comes from WrestlingNews.co, who have reported that there are early plans for a showdown between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. They said WrestleMania 38 in Dallas has been discussed, but some others in the company feel that it would be better to hold that match off until WrestleMania 39 in LA, since that's Rousey's hometown, and having LA host the show would guarantee more mainstream publicity. Also, she's pregnant at the moment, and it wouldn't leave her much time to recover. I think WrestleMania 39 is probably...
You've got a couple of months to get in, get all this worked out. Come on, back you go, on the road.
You know what? It's a match that I'm up for, as long as they don't stick Charlotte in there again. I'd be up for the singles rematch. Obviously, the finish of the match, or the match itself as well, but especially the finish, didn't quite all go to plan. So to do it one-on-one between the two people that we really wanted to see compete all along, Rousey and Lynch, that's the way to go with this. And I think it would be a very, very good match as well. But it's certainly not.
It feels like a more natural story with the the man aspect against. So you got the man versus the legit badass Ronda Rousey, MMA fighter. It's the battle of two very tough people. And I think, it makes sense to just make it that singles match.
Speaking of tough, have you seen how incredible Becky Lynch is looking at the moment? Posting the picture. We'll flash it up now.
Scary hench.
Yeah, man. Well, fair play to her. Fair play to her. Moving on, back over to SmackDown, as a title match has been scheduled for next week's SmackDown. This is something that I thought they might have ended up doing at the pay-per-view on Sunday. They might be doing it at WrestleMania Backlash, sorry. But it's taking place next week. Apollo Crews defending his Intercontinental title against Big E, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. So this was set up after Apollo presented Commander Aziz with a Nigerian Medal of Honor for his services. But that was, obviously, it broke down. It was all interrupted
it's wrestling.
Obviously. It was Big E. And you know what? It was a fun little segment as well.
Hey, guys, I didn't mind it at all. Nobody likes me because I'm being horrible to everybody, but I'm having a big ceremony in the ring later. Just so you know, that's please how it goes on here every time. Just don't interrupt it, please.
Yeah. So you know what? Look at the talent in that match: Owens, Zayn, Big E, Apollo Crews. That should be great, and that's why I'm a bit surprised it's not happening on pay-per-view. But there you go. There's a reason to watch next week. That's for sure. Bit of a sad story now. LA Park. Is currently fighting pneumonia. So LA Park, the original La Parka, MLW.com announcing LA Park has been struck with pneumonia over the past several days. And then Hijo de LA Park, and LA Park Jr. I nailed it there. His sons, right? They shared an update with the media to update fans on the state of their father. And MLW saying that they can confirm that the Reigning World Tag Team Champion is in good spirits under the care of great doctors, and that he appreciates everybody's support, and we obviously send our support his way also. The chairman of the board. An update as well on the Sonya Deville stalker case. So I'm not going to get into the specifics here.
Yeah.
It was a very, very scary incident, a series of incidents, but it all sort of came to a head, causing Sonya Deville it must have been awful. It must have been absolutely awful. Wrestling Inc. reporting that following medical evaluations by doctors, Philip A. Thomas was found not mentally competent to stand trial. He was charged with aggravated stalking, armed burglary of a dwelling, attempted armed kidnapping, and criminal mischief after breaking in to Sonya's house. And both Sonya and Mandy were there. Luckily, they got away because who knows what was going to happen. It's a mental health issue. He's clearly not a well man. And so hopefully this is resolved in due course. We'll keep you updated. We are finishing off with some very exciting news. 2K have posted some new dev footage of 2K 2022. 2022.
2K 2020. 2K22.
What is it, Sam? What's happening?
So we get a very generic-looking wrestler in pretty low-res poly graphics making an entrance.
But less about Cesaro. That's going to get me so much heat. That was a joke. Well, he's a specimen. Why did I say Cesaro? I'm
still just digging a hole.
Oh God!
They posted footage from a work-in-progress build of the game, which started off with more like a framework, just a wrestler coming out, and you saw them doing a pose, and it was all very matte. And then there's a slider comes in. And even though it's still a very, it's your basic creator wrestler face, it's not anybody in particular, it's very much Rey Mysterio's entrance. But when the slider comes over, you see lighting effects, you see the depth, you see the shading. It's still very distinctly 2K. It's not like this huge departure and an upgrade, but it looks a lot better than the last outing, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, it looks like there's been some marked improvement in some of these features, like the lighting and the shading, and hopefully the gameplay follows, and we can have a good game. Please.
Very much, fingers crossed.
Just remake SmackDown 2. Oh. No, just remake
I've been playing it quite a lot lately.
I want to see that S.A. Rios loading screen in glorious 4K. That's what I want.
Yeah? Do you? I want to see the Trish Stratus one, personally. Anyway, we are done. Please don't hate me for the Cesaro joke. He's a specimen and a wonderful, wonderful
I thought Andrew
wrestler.
said that.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell! That I was channeling Andrew there. In fact, he told me to say that. Otherwise, he was going to beat me up. So, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Stay tuned for all of our Backlash content coming over the next few days. And check out the live stream tomorrow night. You can set a reminder right now. YouTube.com/Cultaholic/live. There's Sam with his creepy little wave. All the best. Goodbye.